Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Life with Spike. Today we are installing a Chinese diesel heater turret because we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of prep to do, some sealing to do. I gotta find 4 bolts that work, that are long enough. I need probably like 2.5, 3-inch bolts. So we'll see if I can go find some of those. Maybe 4-inch bolts, I don't know. Really long bolts that are gonna pass through the diesel heater turret. Is going to pass through those 4 holes. It's going to pass through 1 inch of dricore, and then it's going to pass through almost 3/8 to half an inch bump, and then a 10 gauge steel frame. At times 2, well, you know what I mean. So it's got to pass through a good chunk of steel, and then when we go to seal this in, we'll pop it in, the bolts will go in, and then we'll tighten it from the bottom. This should be sticking down outside the frame about that much. Then I've got a special sealant that's meant for high temperatures. I don't think this should get too hot because it's got a rubber plate in between the plate and the heater itself. The actual exhaust pipe gets pretty hot, so if this turret does get warm, I want my house to be protected from the heat. So I'm going to insulate this with a HVAC rated insulation, and then we'll bolt it down and get it all sealed up and cross our fingers that the seal's good, because I don't want any exhaust coming back up into the cabin. Which, might I add, I'll have a carbon monoxide detector in the van as well as a propane gas detector as well. So let's get to it. Let's start marking this out and cutting a hole in the floor and getting on to the next step. Okay, so what I was thinking is I already went down below and I checked, and I think I want my heater right there. Now this, inside of this will be insulated. There's a good 1-inch gap here. There'll be tons of airflow. I'll have a vent over here. Air will be able to go in from either over here or up here. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But air will be able to go in, get sucked in here, heated, and then the vent will come out to the middle of the van somewhere. We'll figure that out later. I already have a design already figured out, so hopefully this heater works. So I'm gonna pop it off this turret and then we'll mark it out.
They say every day's a new day. Live it like your last day. It's okay to feel great. Yeah, you're all jumping on a new wave. Time goes by, but I'll stay stuck up in my old ways. So hard to unlearn habits we got addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but so much easier to say than do. Oh, please help me. Please go easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve.
I now have a hole in my van.
So please go easy. Please go easy on me. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. Easy on me.
Alright, we got the turret hole cut out, which is perfect. So now we're gonna pop this piece in. We'll go underneath, we'll draw our circle, and then once we get that, we'll cut it out slightly bigger than the hole, and then I'll go grab some insulation, insulate this, and then hopefully when I go to put this in, we'll mount it on top of here, and then we'll put long bolts through here. It'll go through the body, and then underneath we'll tighten some bolts, and then it is secured to the floor. And then when we mount the diesel heater, it will just pop in, and it will be mounted in with these 4 bolts from underneath. And then we'll mount the gas lines, the intake, and the exhaust. And then we'll come in here, and we'll line everything with some aluminum foil, the tape, the HVAC tape, and then this will be done. We'll get on some wiring, and we'll get that all ready to go. Okay, so I went ahead and figure out where I'm going to put my fuel line. So it's going to be this hole right here, because I can actually feel it before I actually go and cover this up with this piece of wood. And then I went ahead underneath and marked out the hole, and then I made it a little bigger because I'm going to put HVAC insulation in between the heat turret. I'm going to put a bunch of insulation in between here that's rated for HVAC, so that this doesn't heat up this, because this won't light on fire. I'm not worried about that. Well, maybe I am a little bit. That's why I'm putting that. And then we'll put the glue on here, and then we'll mount this inside here. We'll seal that all up, and then we'll carefully pop this into place, and then we'll be ready to go. So I marked this out. I marked that hole out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut them out. Get ready to go.
Just let me live my life in peace, my life in peace. Been broken a long time, don't remember the highlights of me, highlights of me. Oh, please help me, please go easy.
That is looking good. Fuel line's gonna come out here, and then it's gonna go straight and loop back and go straight up into this hole right here that I'm gonna drill soon. The exhaust comes out here, goes straight down, and I'm thinking of just bolting it to the tailpipe so the silencer is just sitting here and straight up, so no water drainage issues. The intake, on the other hand, I'm probably gonna route down. I don't want to get damaged by the suspension. Airline is going to come here and over towards this body mount, and probably tucked over this body, the frame rail, onto the other side, and then, yeah, right where my fingers are. I think that's where the air is going to go, and then we'll strap the hose to the body frame here, and then that way it should be tucked up out of the way. We'll figure it out step by step. So all that gap has to be filled with that RTV silicone adhesive that's rated for fire or hot. Hot. Got enough space back here for insulation. And our wall. So that's going to be screwed to the floor when it's done. And then we're going to drill a hole for the fuel line. It's going to come up. And we'll mount the fuel pump and the fuel filter somewhere around here on the wall. And then when we're done, we'll mount this like that, with the fuel tank sticking out the back. A little door here somewhere. That way I can open it up, service it, check the pump, all that fun stuff. Check the fitting, because this will all be closed off, probably like as high as the tank is. There'll be, this entire cabinet is diesel heater. Let's figure some stuff out, and then we'll glue it in.
And then I'm gonna take this cable gland that's waterproof, and I'm gonna put my fuel line through it and pass it through the body of the van.
working awesome, dude. This is looking good. Okay, what I found is these bolts, and they come with this rubber washer. So I grabbed a lock washer and 2 other washers, so that when I put it together, we'll have the top, we'll have the dricore, the body of the frame, a washer, or I mean a rubber washer, a lock washer to squish that lock washer to the body of the frame, a lock nut, and then a nut on top of that. So that should keep a seal, so I don't really have to worry about sealing the bolts inside the van, and everything should be tightened up. So that's my, don't lose those rubber washers because I only have 4 of them.
What does it mean to be happy? Cause it looks like we all don't know. Glass half full or empty. Let me just put them on the show. Try to look to the heavens to tell us things that we beg to know. Like what did this all mean? There's no tomorrow. Oh, you know, I try to find a purpose in my life to drive me, to guide me. Oh, doctor, I feel dead inside.
Okay, I'm pretty well ready to go.
To drive me, to guide me. Oh, doctor, I feel dead inside. Try to look to the heavens to tell us things that we beg to know. Like what did this
So I've got my plate mounted, the bolts are tight. This ain't going nowhere. I've got my fuel line coming out. I thought I'd give this a try. I shaved down a rubber hose a little bit because I wanted to see, and then I cut it in half so that I can slide it on top. And then now it's in place. Oh yeah. I think that'll do just fine. So if the van ever vibrates or anything, this rubber or this hose is protected by this rubber, because there's actually like a hole where the fuel line goes into, and I was worried if it was gonna vibrate, it was gonna break the hose. But I think that'll work. Slide this bad boy in here, and she fits. Awesome. So I took a glove and I went around and put RTV heat sealant all the way around the ring, so we've got 100% seal. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna throw those bolts up in them. Bolts are the nuts on those bolts. Yeah, we'll figure it out in a bit. I think it's good. I like it. I like it. So it's fully mounted. It's not going anywhere. It's mounted to the plate. It's mounted to the van. So we're gonna move on to the next project. Not the wiring, but we're gonna get underneath and get everything installed. Now, I don't know how much trouble I'm gonna have tightening that bolt on the Chinese diesel heater, but we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that we can get it done. So, let's get down there and get it over with.
I didn't end up recording it, but I ended up using baling wire to tie off the muffler to the other muffler and at another point. So I'll probably end up securing it a little bit better later when I figure that out. I might end up drilling a hole in the exhaust and then just putting a screw into it. Now I'm gonna run the negative wire, crimp the positive wire, get that all tied up and tidied up, cleaned up, and then I'm gonna clean up this mess. And that is the Chinese diesel heater pretty much installed until we're ready to put a fuel pump in and all that stuff. So if you've liked what you saw and you're excited to actually see this running, stay tuned because pretty soon we're gonna actually fire it up and see how it runs. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember to leave a comment down below. Peace out, guys. We'll see you guys later.